Okay, I think this is gonna be probably the first organized video that I'm making, the format that I want it to be. And so for today, I'm gonna be talking about the definition of beauty. Mainly, I'm talking about mainly in the modeling industry, and not focusing on like any female models. Mainly disregard the fact that I'm out here sitting here sun gazing with my slides on those socks. It's kind of hot in Texas, of course, but mainly I want to talk about is again the definition of beauty. What makes a person or individual categorized as beautiful? I think it's a very opinion based thing. People base their conclusions mainly specifically off their own opinions. It's not a factual thing. Other people, we have individuals like Clavicular who have damn near charts and study the anatomy of the human face to get a conclusion on what beautiful is or beauty or whatever. But for the main part, I really think me personally, my definition of beauty as a model, I am not a model. I feel like in the model industry, I'm not mainly saying the outliers of individuals who are alien like, like just unknown features or features which are not common. For the most part, I'm just talking about strictly what I think it is for the male models, especially the ability. Of course, you being a male, you are presented masculine, of course, but you can also tap into the features, your physical features, which make you slightly feminine, and the physical features which are feminine, which create this harmony. I'm not talking about individuals. Actually, yeah, I'm talking about individuals. Let's say from like the past generation, like Chico, Jordan Berry, all those. We have other people like Alta Mason. The way we are, of course, we can view and see this is a male figure. This is a male, of course, but then you can really point out the feminine sides of their features. And one thing which is very uncanny for me at the most part is, I kid you not, they be looking like IMVU characters, and it's kind of absurd. It's kind of trippy looking at it for the most part. But when your eyes get used to it, I guess you can really point out what the modeling industry has become, what scales the person to the very top. I'm not even talking about height or anything like that. Before I even get to, I would say, the alien archetype, of course, the uncommon one. Then we have the generic, of course. The have the top of the top, of course. Everyone who would be like, oh, this is a top model, or Alton Mason who looks like an IMVU character, and all of this extra stuff. Let's talk about how it also is basically within other niches or other spaces. Let's look at the underground scene. We have people like Netspan, who started off as an underground artist, but now he has dipped himself into the fashion world, and now he can, or the modeling world. I really put it in between because they align so much, the fashion and the modeling world. It's basically the same thing, but it's basically the same thing. You need the models who would wear your fashion shit. So yeah, we're just gonna say the fashion world. Individuals like Netspan, for example, who are able to be successful in the fashion world. They have music too. I mean, at this point, we don't even get music. We just get fashion net, I guess. People like him who are able to succeed. Of course, a male person, male, of course, but it has feminine features onto him. That these feminine features onto him is what I think why people are like, oh yeah, you can succeed as a male in the modeling industry. Not only the height, I'm not talking about the height. Not only that you are, of course, a guy, but you also are able to emphasize these feminine features within your face. Emphasize them, and it's always middle. How do I say? It's always a slight in between feminine. A feminine and masculine. It's just right slap down the middle. Wait, but right down the middle is really down the middle, and that type of range. If you fit right between that specific range, you will be able to succeed as a model, as a male model for the most part. All right. Another thing I wanted to point out was again, I am not like at space per se. I'm just a observer. I just observe with my eyes and I just point out what I can see. Another example I could give is another person of who could, I mean, this person could probably find his way into the fashion industry, of course. Or modeling industry, but super nerfed by height. I'm not a tall guy by any means, but you could probably make it there if you have influence as a short guy, or yeah, influence is it. Influence is power in today's day and age. Influence is power. It's always been power. If you have influence, you could take yourself to any realm. You could take yourself from the earth all the way to the stars. So with influence, you could do it. Another person, for example, like Nine Vicious, he can also succeed in the modeling, not even the modeling sense, but let me talk about this archetype, which has really been popping off lately. Is the queerbait archetype. This is a new level, right? It's men who are straight men, of course, right? but they actually, it's not even that. I remember those Glow. Glow was a person like that who also did that. Men who are usually straight, straight male, and they would emphasize feminine features all the way to the max, or even grab stuff that usually you would find females do. For example, Nine Vicious with edges, of course, and take it and put it into their bag. Something like they stole that shit, take it and put it into their bag. That has been a very recent archetype I've been noticing, you know? And it works. I don't know why it works, but yeah, it's the queer baiting archetype. People who are maxing out their femininity, I guess. Of course, like just maxing out feminine features that they might have, and don't putting them all the way up to the max, and they roll with it, or they take shit from what we usually see in society that women do. For example, edges, Nine Riches right there, edges, you know, and take it and add it to their bag, and this extra shit. So yeah, I feel like that's another archetype, the queer bait archetype, and I feel like it works in a certain level for underground to at least get that talk rolling, I guess, because of course, you're gonna have eyes on you. You're gonna be like, people are gonna either you might get hate or you might get love, but people are gonna hate on you. You're gonna be like, no, that's the guy who was maxed out gay and all this extra stuff and all that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because any form of publicity is good publicity in music, or as a person who you're trying to build influence, mainly music, because you're gonna have good form of influence and you're gonna have stuff that's gonna skyrocket you into people are listening, checking out your music, accumulating more streams and all this extra stuff. But that archetype has been floating around, the Nine Vicious archetype, the way you could max out your femininity. This is not even trying to get the balance down the middle. This is like going 70% down to the feminine side. This is pushing it way past the meter that I just explained. And that's what he's been doing. And it could work for him getting into that world. Only thing is that probably only thing that really holds him back is probably being like 5'2" or whatever. But shit, doesn't really matter if Uzi can do it. Why can't you do it? So yeah, like height is, of course, they're gonna look at you for professional work. Oh yeah, I want to tell a person so I could really have more room to work with when I'm making all these pieces and stuff, and I can fit it on you. But for the most part, in big 2026, you could probably make it work. Influence is power, bro. I'm telling you, influence is power. Everyone should be influence maxing. Influence maxing, you can take over with influence. Don't let no one else tell you otherwise. Influence is power. All the way, it is power. And you should utilize that. Build your influence, build your connection, build your influence, get your name out there. That is very important. That is very important. If I said it was unimportant, I would be lying right to y'all faces. That is very important. So yeah, make sure y'all take advantage of it. Very important. Thing I want to say, is out of all of these archetypes and the definition of beauty, there is really nothing. Again, this is all just opinion based. I think for shit, it's all just opinion based, okay? It's all just opinion based. The most handsome or most beautiful person could be the most ugliest person to another person, you know what I mean? It's all opinion based. It's not, unless some people like Clavicular who pull out charts and some more extra bullshit where, hey guys, the numbers don't lie, guys. You have to have a symmetrical whatever cheekbone bullshit, man. We don't care about all of that. It's not really about that. Beauty is not, doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You can't scale it like that. It's always going to be forever evolving. Maybe a mass group of people can conclude that, oh yeah, this is the best model there is, but there will always be someone who's going to reject that. It's not a factual thing. There's always going to be someone who's going to reject that. There's always going to be someone who is like, okay, yeah, this is peak, and someone's going to be like, this is garbage. My phone just fell. But yeah, understand that, and I want to really preach that whole, if you can make it into that world, anyone can make it to that world. I believe so. I'm gonna even try to make it to that world just for the sake of as a side hustle. If I don't make it, boo, at least I'm having fun trying to make it to that world, at the end of the day. So just aim for that self-improvement. Try to improve yourself as much as you can for the sake of yourself, for your health, one, for if you have any challenges mentally, if you are low self-esteem, search self-improvement, searching self-improvement and obtaining it. It's so helpful for you mentally. It helps you a lot. It helps your confidence a lot. It helps you be able to handle a lot of things way more easier. And I'm not sure if people like Clavicular, I guess they prove it. Beauty controls the world. I guess he says like some people have advantages over other because of the way they look. And to agree, that makes sense because people are going to make assumptions of you The first thing they're gonna notice is the way you look, the way you present yourself, how you present yourself in the world. That is the first thing that's gonna get picked up on. You know, before you even say a word, people are gonna make these, presumptions about you. So at the end of the day, always try to improve yourself for yourself's sake. Try to reach a point in life where you feel comfortable, where you feel amazing, where you feel great, where you feel healthy.